Every morning under unforgettable bridge sat a beggar who refused to look broken. His name was Dan, and his problem wasn't that he begged, it was that he smiled. People would glance at him between insults at traffic and think, "Omo, why this guy dey happy?" Dan had one strange habit. He prayed not for himself, but for everybody else. If a student passed complaining about exams, Dan prayed. If a mother dragged her child, Dan prayed. If a man checked his empty wallet, Dan prayed. Every day, he blessed strangers, wished them peace and miracles, but never once did he ask God for money, food, or healing. People noticed. Maybe he was a disguised angel. Maybe he was dodging village people. Nobody really knew. One blazing afternoon, the kind where the sun feels personal, Dan sat under a faded umbrella. A young girl stopped in front of him. Her uniform was neat, but her eyes were restless. Her school bag hung heavy, like it carried more worries than books. Dan smiled and did what he always did. He prayed for her exams, confidence, future, and peace. When he finished, she did not say amen. She just stared.
"Uncle,"
she asked,
"why you no dey pray for yourself?"
Dan chuckled softly. He told her his life was already in God's hands and that praying for others was what kept his heart beating. Helping people gave him strength. That was enough. The girl walked away, but his answer followed her home. A week later, Dan sat in his usual spot when the girl returned. This time, she wasn't alone. Beside her stood a man who looked too polished for the area. He wore clean shoes and a calm face. They stopped in front of Dan. The man stared for a long time, then did something nobody could understand. He knelt. Right there, by the roadside, the well-dressed man knelt beside the beggar. The noise around them dipped. Quietly, the man reminded Dan of another city, Kano. Years ago, he had been a homeless boy there. Dan had shared his food, given him a place to sleep, prayed for him daily until he found his feet. That boy was now a successful businessman, and the girl, his daughter. He had been searching for Dan for years. After his daughter told him about the praying beggar at Ojuelegba, he knew it had to be him. Tears in his eyes, the man told Dan he had bought him a house. Not land in one far bush, a real house with light, water, and a decent bed. He promised him healthcare, a monthly allowance, and a permanent seat at his family's table. Dan covered his face and wept, the quiet, heavy kind of tears. The next day, his corner under Ojuelegba Bridge was empty. For the first time, the city felt it. Some said he finally prayed for himself. Others said his blessings had simply found their way back home. Dan did not receive a miracle because he chased one. He received it because in a loud, selfish city, he kept giving miracles away. Sometimes the prayers we give others become the answers to prayers we never say. And in a noisy city full of chaos, you don't need to shout to have your prayers answered. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, hit the like button, drop a comment, share it with your people, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. See you in the next one.